Hi, and this is Going with the Flow. I'm Marisa, and this is Trisha. And who knows what's episode 59? Hi! Come to Holy Cow. Welcome to episode 59. You know what? I think people are liking it better the one topic that we're not like kind of all over the place. So it seems like it. You get lots of texts and some comments. And hey, you know what? We got to give a shout out to our biggest fan, Mr. David Burns. Are you in Sears? Ecstasy Cats. We love you. We love the podcast, the Positivity Group. Every time I see you comment or like, I get a little smile to my face, and I'm like, well, if I just touch one person, my job is done. So yeah, all kidding aside, thanks for supporting us and tell us about us because we appreciate it. So David. All right, so bro, what are we talking about? So I mean, it's a hot topic right now. Yes. I'm not trying to be like the View or anything. Oh, that are. That's okay. In our review hot topic. Yeah. So, there's a big trial that has started this week, right? Day 2? Day 3, whatever days. Yeah, in Goin, California. Okay. And so outside of the courtroom, I just imagine, being on the outside of the courtroom, walking up the steps, and there's somebody holding a sign with nothing but names and ages on it. Okay. No explanations, no headlines. Just children, only some as young as 12. Who aren't here anymore. I heard that piece of that. And outside the meta trial, one girl is doing exactly that. And all those names are at the center of a much bigger question. Did social media companies know what was happening to choose to keep children scrolling on their platforms? Okay? And you will see that along with parents who are their children that trace their children's steps to social media or related harms, photos of their late children and banners with their names are all moving outside platforms. Mary Brogy, whose son, Riley, I need to go back and make sure I'm not pronouncing this, Bassford, died by suicide at 15 after being sextorted on Facebook Messenger, was among the parents that helped with the banners since March. I added 39 millions. Wow! So, it's sextortion. I had not heard that word. I thought they use, like exploitation, or librating. What is sextorted for sex? And so I'm thinking.
Like being solicited?
That or perhaps bodies. Right, perhaps this the Facebook Messenger pictures may have been sent and the receiver is like, hey, if you don't do this or that, money, whatever the case is, I'm gonna blast these pictures by this day. Right. And that I don't know the details of that case, but it is considered sextortion, right? Well, they say he's been sextorted. And what do you do, right? You're 15 years old. When you put that out there, it's out there. Yep. And so this child.
Anybody it's happened to?
I don't.
I do here in town. A very good friend of mine.
So this is the parent, and she's among the parents that have created some of these banners outside of the meta trial started this week. And since March, they have added 39 new names to this banners of children.
Okay, so let's back it up to your question, right? Should the social media companies be responsible? So way back when they were in college and coming up with social media, you saw the movie, MySpace, what about MySpace? That was the beginning. I don't think they thought of it that far in advance, right? They were just thinking of, hey man, what's a cool way to socialize with people? Maybe that you don't have to leave your room, leave your room or do this or do that. And so, I was a latecomer to social media. I was like, no, I don't need everybody knowing my business. And then of course, because I'm in marketing, I got into it and it's fun. And And I think I'm on the down curve where like I still post, I still do little things. I'm no longer obsessed with it, right? And I can't say I was ever obsessed with it, but there was like a period when we were all like, let's check in, sure, check in.
Yeah, that was
It was a thing.
many years ago.
We're so right, but for so many now, it's still there. It's there, and it's at the youth level. Like, when did it get down to the kiddos? And so, first of all, I do wonder: is this trial? I'm not defending Meta by any means, okay? But is the case about privacy, or is it about mental health? Because they are kind of different, how I see it. And so, you know, if you're going to talk about privacy, okay,
Privacy of
of the child, okay, well, why did you give your kid a phone? And why did you give them access? And do you read their posts? Do you read their social media? Isn't that a violation of privacy as well?
Well, if it's your child, it's not a violation of privacy.
Why is it not still?
Because you're there.
Okay, so when is it considered a violation of privacy?
When they're 18.
18. Okay. So if you gave them a phone at 11 years old and they have access to those applications and you're not checking their phone as a good parent should, whose fault is it?
Well, the thing is, at what point do these names stop being tragic?
Right.
Start becoming evidence of a bigger problem.
Absolutely. And I'm not discounting that by any means. So we're going to go back to the problem.
Well, I think the problem begins with the accessibility. It's not the fact that you're buying your child a phone, right? You buy whenever you feel like they're ready for it, right? No, you feel like it's an elementary school or middle school. And why are you buying it for them? Why are you buying the phone?
So I would think that most parents would say, so I can find it.
Right. Or they're like, for me personally, that I bought the phone because middle school started and, he needed a way to call me when he was done with school. If something happened, Mom, I'm ready to be picked up. I just finished band practice. Or I can call him, hey, I'm coming now. Whatever the case is, you have that tells. It was already in probably 6th grade, probably. What age is 11, 12? Okay, right. But on the phones, there are restrictions. There are parental restrictions. And as parents, we have to engage those restrictions as their parent. 100% love them.
100%.
Right? Yeah. And so herein lies the problem with that is, the platforms through Meta with Facebook and Instagram. Okay, TikTok's a different platform. They have the teen accounts, okay, which I did get, right? Because you monitor it, you put up safety filters, things like that. I did. I think that's my deal breaker right there is that people aren't doing their homework. You cannot trust anybody. The only person you can trust is yourself as the parent.
Right.
And through those, safety features, there's time limits, right? You can turn it off. You can turn off after a certain time. But as they get older, the other problem becomes where they know how to create their accounts.
Sure.
And then that's a whole nother fight, right?
Right.
And so, it is very disheartening because of everything that I've read about this trial so far, because I see it happening firsthand. Like I see social media. Yeah. I see, as an educator, as a parent, the different roads.
How, Marizu, because you are a teacher, how when did it become so relevant? Do you remember? Was it 5 years ago? Was it
Social media?
Yeah, in the schools.
Right.
Because when I first came out, I don't remember anybody talking about their kids having it. I don't know when that shift happened. But I felt like when the shift happened, I started learning about cyberbullying, right? And I was like, what?
Well, here's the thing, too, is the generation, like the kids now that are, this is their first generation AI. Right. This is the first year
for sure
for teens to have that AI access. Okay. here's the thing is that when these teenagers that are now, or let's say young adults, when they were in COVID hit, they had nothing else to do but that.
Absolutely.
And I
So
think
yeah, a lot of people,
yes.
insurgents in it.
Yes, because they were, seeing all these things on social media. They figured out how to chat with their friends, beyond text messaging.
Valid point. I think that's excellent. I was reading as well as you, and I am going to ask you a question, but our childhood versus today's gentlemen, right? Us. We played outside. We talked on the phone. We got grounded. We got restricted. We argued with words. I don't think I ever argued physically with somebody, but then you made up, right? You have that face-to-face connection, and then you go home, and all is well,
Right. We talked on the telephone.
right? But today there's a group chat, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, there's screenshots, there's viral embarrassments, and permanent digital footprint. We didn't have any of that, right? No one goes outside anymore. It's crazy. But then there's these people that roam the streets and they don't put their the world is just so different from when we were young. And imagine when our parents were younger. They must just be because I think so. Yeah, so quick question. Yes. By the way you're talking to me, I feel like you are leaning more that Meta should be doing more. Got you a fair statement?
I think so. I think that I don't know if they're ignoring what's happened, not ignoring it, but saying, oh, we're protecting them. We're doing all these safety measures are in place, but are they really? Because are they ignoring it because it's their algorithms are there, they're following these children, they're hooking them in.
Right, and their brains not fully developed yet.
Brains are not fully developed. And how is it as adults, we cannot stop? How is a 13-year-old supposed to stop this addicted scrolling and the algorithms are following this child and they are children still, and we can. And so now here we have, these kids are getting on Facebook. Like, how do we monitor that? How does Meta monitor that? Australia's already done away with TikTok. I think there's something with Australia where kids are no longer allowed under 18.
So what about something like not being able to vote until you're 18, right? Not being able to drink legally, that is. There's always going to be the rule breakers, right? But we had to put those systems in place. Why would those systems not apply to these systems? About America defined you as an adult at 18 years old. So let's ponder on that.
Let us ponder, and we will come right now. We'll talk about.
We have so much.
Let's actually talk about what's actually happening in federal court right now.
Yeah,
Meta is once again.
Yes,
Always.
we'll be right back.
We are back. Welcome back. We had some hard conversations.
Yes.
During our
This is tough.
Right.
This is really tough conversation to have, and I think we'll be talking about this at a future episode.
It's a lot of great
Okay,
things.
so tell us what the real what's happening. Here's happening. Right?
Here's what else. In Oakland federal court, Meta is once again on trial over dangers its platforms may pose to children. As before, not the first time they've been under scrutiny, argues that it works tirelessly to keep them safe. Meta's working. This is the argument. Parent company of Instagram and Facebook kicked off with 4 states seeking billions in damages as well as fundamental changes on how Meta runs the platforms. Okay, so the state's argument, prosecutors are arguing that Meta knew children were particularly vulnerable to addictive technology, but designed its features to maximize their time on platforms anyway. The point to features such as infinite scrolling, notifications, recommendation algorithms as mechanisms that encourage repeated use. Prosecutors are saying that Meta's own research showed it understood the risks of young users but didn't act adequately.
So they have their own research on this.
Well, that was very interesting. And there's also former employees coming out. I had so much that this particular witness is a whistleblower or he's speaking current, he's speaking on behalf. His name is Abdul Beha. I'm gonna be speaking on behalf of the company or just of what he saw. But there are some stories that kind of go against when what is saw, right? The state also is accusing Meta of collecting information from children under 13 without proper parental consent and misleading the public about the safety of its platforms. And so Trisha and I had conversation, and Trisha, rightly so, saying, well, I mean, parents are buying smartphones and those apps are easily accessible. And, you're not allowing your son to do certain X, Y, and Z. But here's the thing. Not all parents are like you, me, right? And those are the children we need to protect the most because those parents are not going to do it.
Because here's the thing.
And it takes ability.
At the end of the day, when you have a child, that child becomes your number one priority, right? Not yourself,
Right.
not your spouse or partner or whatever it is. The child,
Right.
the innocent, vulnerable child. And that's the problem here. Life is very fast, and people are so consumed because of social media on themselves and their perfect life and this and this and that.
Right.
But what about your kid? What about your kid that's not doing well in school or or you talking by yourself and your friend?
Right. And you have parents that have many kids.
Right.
Kiddos in impoverished, neighborhoods, and they cannot watch their kids 24/7 and monitor, and they don't know how to work those, particular privacy settings.
Sure.
For, those are the children that we need to be, that we need to love on and that we need to watch and be careful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's not going to be one answer fits all, unfortunately. So, we're kind of going back and forth. I feel definitely Meta has a corporate responsibility, 100%. But I also feel that there needs to be significant parental responsibility until the age of 18.
And there is, I just have babies having.
Absolutely.
There's absolutely. The Meta's defense, right? So Meta's defense is the lawyers for Meta are essentially saying the states are taking internal documents and statements out of context. Meta also argues that social media isn't triggered to be the cause of the mental health problems being attributed to it, and that children frequently lie about their ages. Media mere for them to access these applications.
Sure. I mean, I remember when I was under 18, I was always saying I was 18 because I wanted access.
Right.
That's very natural. It's better natural.
I mean, fake ID, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I agree. It's just, it's very concerning. And the trial is expected to last 6 weeks. Mark Zuckerberg, William Sound, as he is all the time, right? All the time. And, so I don't know. How do you prove that? Like, I just can imagine.
I think they're going to be fined some.
Sure.
They have to.
But then what?
Right. And how do they fix that? And then there's always a workaround behind something. And it's just when did they find it? When's the kid that's smarter than Mark Zuckerberg going to come out, Hey, you want to do a quick little rapid firing in? Okay. So these work really well as slow cheese style lightning rounds. Okay?
Yes.
Social media, good or bad? Phone before age 13, yes or no? Yes. Parents should have passwords, yes or no? Yes. Instagram before high school, yes or no?
No.
Why?
I don't think they're ready.
Yeah, because of the images, right? It's more about photos and doing something than it is about.
Well, I think that they lose themselves in thinking like, oh my God, that life is better than mine. I wish I could be like her. I wish I could play soccer like that kid. All of those emotions.
Yes.
For children that they're seeing they can't handle it.
You know what's interesting is nowhere in any of the research or the readings that I've been doing, I'm not sure about you, no one has mentioned YouTube.
That's another platform, right?
Right.
And that was one of the beginnings of the social media booming because
that's where kids come to. They're usually, well, it used to be they were a YouTube sensation.
right
Now they're TikTok.
exactly.
Okay. TikTok before 16, yes or no?
No.
Phone?
Will it happen? No, it just has not. I mean, like my kids are already on it.
Phone in the bedroom, yes or no?
Yes, but they're not. It's parents saying, "I'll turn it off." Hey, I can have a mic. It doesn't have to keep that. What about break?
Oh,
Period.
okay. Parents reading DMs, yes or no?
I think it depends on the trust level. I don't think.
That's tough. Social media companies should be legally responsible for children's mental health. Yes or no?
Not 100%.
Social media should have warning labels.
Yes.
Is social media addiction real?
Yes.
Are parents part of the problem?
Yes.
Are tech companies exploiting children's vulnerability?
Yes. Absolutely 100%.
Okay, so if you could give every parent, because you are a parent of a young child still, he's not a baby, but if you could give every parent one piece of advice about kids and social media, what would it be?
I would say, first, if you're going to get them the phone, know what to do with it as far as screen time restrictions. You control it. You can control it from your phone, mom or dad. I can say, you know what? You're off.
It's more than a setting.
It's more on a setting.
Okay.
I mean, you can't see what they're seeing unless you can get on their account, right? The iCloud, because all of that is family account.
Right.
You have to add the message. So take control of their phone through your phone. Okay, you can turn the apps off. You can have the apps only. They can only access them for a small amount of time, and so there's a lot of else parents need to do with the phone.
They need to teach their children about appropriateness of calling and tagging their parent.
What?
Yes, because there are kids that are constantly texting their parents throughout the day. They're at school.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's disrupting. They're not getting anything out of school.
It shouldn't be
because
using
the
your
parent
phone.
is definitely not focused on work.
There's already a state law that says children cannot have their phones at school, and that's what happened.
That's only in public schools.
Well, excuse me.
No, but on your stage, that's part of the problem.
That is part.
Yeah.
And so the other piece of advice I would say is have the conversation with your child or your children and saying, once you put it out there, it's out there. It doesn't matter how best BFF friends you think they are, how much you think you love her or him. It doesn't matter. Right? Once you put it out there, mama can see it. Well, yep, I agree.
It's a lot to talk about.
It's lots to talk about. But when we come back, I do want to talk about some landmark rulings that happened, and then you have a little bit more to share.
Sure.
Whether they're going to make a difference or not. Yeah, time shown.
It's probably part the meta.
Right. Sure. So,
okay, we'll be right back. Let us know what you're thinking.
And go.
we are back. We are back with this topic that I feel so wholehearted. So,
We sure did, but so do I.
we all should.
We all should.
We all should, because we are raising a generation.
You care about the
We
generation.
share about that. There's a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah.
And we cannot deny that.
No, and I think about the stories here. There's one that stands out that one of our Texas senators, champions and helped write the bill for against cyberbullying and stuff that we happen to know. I went to school with him, and so did Ralph. But you know him, such a boy. So there's just so much out there. So what do you have next for us?
So, yeah, just as
You're going to talk a little bit more about the law stuff.
well, I'm just going to talk about a couple of one landmarks. But the thing too is that, even as adults, we scroll through, and I always feel like, man, My house doesn't look like that. I want my house to look like that. I mean, it's messing with my psyche.
It is. And that
I'm
happens to me.
constantly trying to come
I'm like, why can't I get rid of all the clutter? Or why can't I
Has to
have
my psyche. So what about my own mental health?
Yeah.
So
So my house is never going to be a museum. I have little grandkids. I've given up on certain things.
I will not do it.
And no, just for time. When my youngest, what probably gets to be 10, then I might like do my floors or change some blinds or something significant to make my house look a little bit more presentable. But you walk in and you know this is a grandparent's house. There's toys everywhere.
Toys everywhere.
Yeah.
Toys galore. Toys. It's Toy Story.
Toy Story.
All right.
Toy Story.
So we were talking about the Meta trial that is happening this week in Goin, California, at the federal courts. But this is not the first time, and there was a landmark ruling already that just came. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was last week in New Mexico, where a judge compared the Meta platforms to factories. Okay. And the psychological harm to children who use Facebook and Instagram can be seen as both pollution. That is the pollution. So if they're the factories, the mental health of children would be this pollution. So this particular judge in New Mexico ordered new safety measures and fined Meta $567 million. So,
Which is probably changed to
that is right. And so these are the safety measures. So for Meta platforms, which is it Instagram and New Mexico, if they are under 18, they are only allowed 90 hours per month. Okay. I don't know how that's monitored or how that works, but that's one of the
9 hours on those particular platform, either platform. You're supposed to buy it, right?
Agree. And then all AI chatbot restrictions. The kids are not allowed to get on AI. And then it's also issued mandatory warnings on the platform. Now, this is only applying to children in New Mexico.
Under 18.
Under 18.
Okay.
So I guess the question becomes then, how easily can these features be implemented and effective against it? How are those?
Right. And so now
think about the monitoring.
is having to customize
Right.
for their platforms for states.
Interesting. That will be interesting because a lot of the states are right in Mexico.
Well, wouldn't it just be wonderful if nationally we all had the same rights?
Here's the downfall. Okay. Unfortunately, Meta has no deadline to introduce them. And so what's going to happen?
So that wasn't given to them.
There's no deadline.
Give me your 67 down.
Yeah. And now Meta is a
Yeah, so that's kind of
so, I mean, what was the point of that? Yeah, right, at this point. And so this is the quote from Meta. We remain confident in our record of protecting teens online and will continue to defend ourselves against claims that misrepresent. There you go, Mark Zuckerberg. Shame on you, Steve.
Let me ask you a question though. I mean, I get it. I fully support it. I could not hear about the Snapchatters or the Instagrams,
Right.
but we don't hear about that.
Right.
They don't get fined and they don't get the publicity as much as American-born.
I guess TikTok's pretty popular. I don't think Snapchat's kind of gone by the wayside, but it's still there. I guess. I don't even know if Facebook is even popular with the teen culture.
It is more
Immortalized old people.
Yeah, well, define old because I'm not old.
But right, some or peanut galleries.
Peanut galleries, yes, is a much more mature.
It is, but I mean, but then, like, if you're a kid and you have your account connected, because let's connect and they beat each other unless you turn that setting up. Okay,
Right.
that's grand.
But like the people that don't have both of them on, they like, I'm just gonna put it on Facebook, not Instagram.
Right.
What's the difference? What's the difference, right? It's still a darn picture, it's still a darn video.
I mean, I guess maybe your followers are different.
I guess.
Yeah.
Another one that I'm very happy to
Yes.
is OpenAI
Yes.
launches Chat GPT for teens.
Okay, so tell me,
AI for OpenAI, promising a more age-appropriate chatbot. The first generation, because this is the first generation to grow up with AI.
Yes.
Right. It is promised a new version designed just for them, ages 13 through 17. And it's going to include stronger protections, the content restriction around important things like suicide, self-harm, and romantic/sexual chats. And it's also going to include homework and study supports. Now, support, not give me all the answers.
Do it.
Do it right. Okay. So now I have to applaud that. Now, how effective will it be, or how we'll see. We'll see, right?
Is it the brand check?
I think it will. Is it OpenAI? That it runs ChatGPT.
They own ChatGPT.
They own Chat.
Oh,
okay. But here's the thing. Just yesterday, I told
I love fired up.
my little dude, I'm like, hey, get on ChatGPT and find out why Google Fiber is digging up the front yard.
Yeah.
Because I want to know, and now I want to have to search it.
Yeah. So sometimes you're doing that searching on it don't work anymore. They're
Right.
So me, I just need forgive me.
They're right. And so, I was guilty of that.
Yeah.
I was driving into the house, and
Yo, man.
Google Fiber is digging up by the sidewalk. They're like, Aaron,
Lisa, my sister Lisa and her husband and I moving back this weekend, and they tried to get Google Fiber installed, and they couldn't. Last weekend, something keep digging up something.
yeah. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're headed with this, but I'm wondering in 10 years from now, are we going to look back on this?
What a great segue to my next question is asked. Okay, well, first of all, here's kind of how we're going to end this. But I do want to say that I use AI, and right now we are trying to learn how to use it for our business. Okay, so that when someone does a search, it is more accurate than one person's opinion, because that's a review-ish type of model, right? You want it to be accurate. So it's a lot. It is a lot. I was trying to think I was going to have to learn another thing, and it's my work.
We're always trying to.
Yes, I know.
Always.
Okay, my son. 20 years from now. 20 years from now.
So that's
When today's kids are adults, are they going to thank us for giving them access to the world? Or are they going to say, why didn't we protect them?
well, I was and I was kind of looking, learning about all of this. Wow. Dun, dun. I was reading some quotes earlier a few days ago from young adults in the 18 to 25 range, and they were looking back and saying, I wasted my time. I wasted so much time scrolling. Like they were thinking back to their teen years during which would have been about COVID year, right? Like how they're now reflecting on the whole social media thing, how they spent so much time. And I'm wondering if 20 years from now, or no, but what are the regrets that are in
I have some regrets about COVID. I really thought that it was going to be the end of the world. And so there were things that I didn't do. We did get our family together. We're like, if we're going to die, that way we want to die together, right? And Rob was really good. He was like, we had movies outside and look at things that we've been saying we wanted to do that we never did.
Sure.
But then just intellectually, there are things that I could have done better that I just didn't do. So I have some regrets of that. But I worry about the upcoming generations. I mean, again, like we were saying earlier, right? Our parents never thought this was going to happen to us.
This is like Twilight Zone. George meets the Jetsons.
Right.
We never had just miles of street didn't think he would be here.
The other night, again, punt a little bit off of this. Ralph and I were watching third season of Lioness.
Oh,
Okay. Did you see all those drones flying over? And I was like,
yes,
what?
like insects.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, you have to watch Lioness.
Like the sky was just covered with drones.
It was crazy. Like they were like buds, like pictures.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't think that kids at a certain age right now their middle brains can't handle the volume. They can't handle the opinions of others, because it's one thing, like, like group chats, group texts. I'll come out of the meeting, there's 24 texts from one group chat, right? I'm like, just get me to it, right?
Right.
But they're not opinions, we're talking, we're all adults. But I can't imagine that for the kiddos, right? And then when they're populated with opinions, that's bad.
Well, opinions, or, just like anything about themselves or their self, or like what makes them feel bad. Like, we want our children to have a positive outlet.
Absolutely.
Emotionally, physically. You are not.
Yeah. Hello, Ray Bean. I talked to her about like when to tell the story, and when not to be like a television or everything. That's Miss Work time, because she is, and at school she does get a little like, Ray is gonna tell, and I'm like, that's okay. That is okay. Those people are not your friend. Like, yeah, I've been giving this whole little pep talk because she's very sensitive.
Right.
They're sensitive one, but it's just hard. I don't remember my mom ever, or grandmother for that matter, having to tell me about this and this and that.
And most I had back then was my dad would unplug my phone from the wall.
For sure. And here, I would have thought he would have outlined our caller ID, but we had it.
That's it. I mean, that was very invasive call.
Absolutely. They wrap up your filming, record, take it out of your room. I know. But I go to school and ask my friends, hey, do you have an extra phone so I can hike it from my dad and use it?
So interesting. Interesting. And we'll see how the tile.
We will get updates. We will share our story and let us know what you think.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Topic right now, and we really want to hear from people. Again, we're for both corporate responsibility and parental responsibility. So we will see y'all next week for episode 60.
And as always,
yeah, no, we're not 60. And as always, peace, love, and bubbles. Cheers.